the best practices that you have for building a foundation for sales leadership within an organization?
Well, I think the foundation, it really starts with knowing the distinction between leadership and management. Okay, I think that's a big thing, and we tend to use those words synonymously. So you hear this quite often. And in fact, when we're doing programs, we have a program called Management Mastery, and it's geared towards sales leaders, sales managers, and aspiring leaders and managers. People that are being groomed for those positions. But at the end of the day, those are two really, if you want to unpack it, they're two very, very different things. And I've had some debates with people about that, and they kind of clump it all in together. But in my experience, a leader, and you think about political leaders, global leaders, religious leaders, spiritual leaders, corporate leaders, a leader needs to have the ability to inspire people, really. So a leader has to be able to inspire people, a leader has to be able to move people to take some sort of action. That's leading, right? And in a perfect world, they're leading from the front. They're there. They're in the trenches. They're doing something. They're walking the talk. They're a role model, right? So to me, that's leadership. And part of that is having vision. So leaders have vision. Leaders have a strategy, a game plan. All right, they have this big picture mission or vision that they would like the organization to follow, or a vision of how the world should be. So they're visionaries. To me, that's leadership. Now, a manager, when you think about it, now I've gone from leader to manager, and I could tell my tone probably went down a little bit. I'm like, I'm a manager. And there's nothing at all wrong with being a manager, but let's face it, managers manage the process. They manage things. So they're about execution more than strategy. Let's be honest. Most sales leaders on this session here that are listening are not responsible for setting the strategic course for the organization. Really. Most of them are responsible for managing their sales staff, making sure that their staff do what needs to be done, follow the SOPs, hit the KPIs. That's management, and that's a super important role. We need people to manage that process. But it's really around managing people, managing processes, as opposed to setting the strategic direction. What markets do we need to go into? Do we need to focus more on retention, getting new customers, new product development? There's myriad things that go into formulating a strategy. Great managers are able to go, okay, now that I know what we need to do and why, let me get the resources together and marshal the team so that they can focus on the how we're going to get this done. So the distinction between management and leadership, I think, needs to be clear from the beginning. And once you've got that, now we're able to start building this culture within the organization.